Hi class, I want to talk briefly about the mood board assignment. So we're going to go ahead and start the brand identity project where you're going to create an identity for a brand and then learn how to create different assets that employs that identity. So for Thursday, you need to go ahead and read through the brand project and have a sense of what client you're going to use. There's 2 clients that I've provided to you that you can choose from, but you also can work with another client. If you're part of a student organization or a sorority or fraternity that you want to work with, just let me know. Just clear it with me, and I'll tell you right now, I've only said no to one student in the past. And you can go ahead and work for that organization. I want to give you that option because I think the likelihood that your client will use your work if you have your own client in mind is pretty good. So take a look at that brand document and see what client you want to work with. We're going to move on to that assignment and start working with the client for this class. And the first thing you're going to do is create what's called a mood board. So you have to kind of figure out how you want the brand identity to look. You've just learned about design elements and design principles and how they express different connotations. So now you need to start thinking about the connotations you want to express for your brand. Do you want your brand to look athletic and sporty, or do you want your brand to look serious and academic? Do you want your brand to look playful and flirty, or do you want your brand to look, I already used serious, let's see, more calm, restful, relaxing? You have to decide that this week, and you're going to decide it with the mood board. So the first thing you're going to do for the mood board is you're going to think about the words you want people to think about when they see your brand. What words do you want associated with your brand? Playful and fun? Serious? Business-like? Traditional? Innovative? What do you want people to think of when they look at your brand? And then you're going to create a mood board, which is going to help you figure out how you express those ideas visually. So again, you looked at the design elements and the design principles this week. You're going to create a mood board that shows design elements that you could use in your design. And what I'm going to have you do is actually you're going to make 2 mood boards. I talked about the design process in the previous video. You always want to have alternatives that you can lean on when you're designing. If you make one mood board and the client doesn't like it, it's a little embarrassing to have to say, oh, okay, well, I'll go try again and come back. If you can pull out another example and say, well, actually, we did try something else. Would you be interested in seeing that? It's a lot better than just saying, well, I failed. I guess I got to go work on it some more. So you're going to create alternatives. The other reason you want to create alternatives is to stretch your creativity. The first time you make the mood board, you might make a mood board that's kind of not very good, or maybe it's too obvious. It doesn't have a lot of nuance to it. If you have to make another mood board, you've already used all your first go-to options. You have to get a lot more creative in order to make that second alternative. So I want you to make 2 mood boards for the same brand, and before you start the logo design, you're going to choose the mood board that you want to go with. So how do you make a mood board? Well, here's an example. This is a mood board that was created by designers making a new identity for Air Malta. Malta is a small island in the Mediterranean. Air Malta is an airline based out of Malta. And so you can see that they've chosen images showing design elements that they want to use. They've got colors that are associated with the Mediterranean. They've got shapes that are associated with Malta. So they have this cross shape here, which is associated with Malta. And here you have this sort of Italianate architecture with the crisscrossing sort of waffle architecture that's very Italianate. You see that in the Pantheon of Rome. And then over here you see buildings on the island of Malta showing how everything's very close. Again, Italianate, very Mediterranean looking, Mediterranean colors. Everything's sort of stacked on top of each other, and you have these beautiful reds, greens, and blues that pop off of that, off of those buildings. So you're going to create your mood board with the same concept. You're going to find 2 colors, 2 shapes, 2 typefaces, textures, and images that you believe express through their design elements the same kind of thing you want to express, and then later you're going to employ those. Now, the mood board is not about using the images that you find. You'll notice that these images on this mood board are actually not used in the final design, which you see here. These are inspirational. And in fact, you're going to find images for your mood board just by Googling. You're just going to go to Google and look up colors and look up textures and look up images. And since you're taking those images off Google, you're actually stealing them. You're not getting permission to use them, but you're going to use them for this inspirational mood board. And since you're not publishing the mood board anywhere, it's okay for you to do that. If you publish the mood board, if you put it on your website or something, then you could get in some trouble. But since this is an inspirational board that you're just making for your own use, then you can take those pictures off Google. So you actually can't use the images from your mood board in your final design because that would be publishing them and that could be a copyright issue. But you're going to use this as inspiration. So if we look here at the final design for Air Malta, you can see the cross inspired from the cross of this little piece of hardware. You can see the shapes of the, orange, green, and blue sort of overlapping the red coming in over here from the waffle pattern. And the stripe idea coming from this picture of a wooden sort of crown molding or something from a building. So you get the inspiration from the mood board, not the actual pictures. So let's take a look at an example. This is one mood board, and again, you're going to make two. The first thing you're going to do is come up with some words that you want associated with your brand. And you might read the descriptions of the brands and pull some words out of there. So this particular student was working with the David Owsley Museum of Art's community outreach program. This is a program that is meant to bring families to campus to experience everything the art museum has to offer. So this student decided, here's what people should think of when they see our brand: playful, youthful, creative, and artistic. People should feel that this is a great place for their kids to play, be creative, be artistic, and enjoy their youth. And for each mood board, you're actually going to use the same words. You're not going to change the words, but you're going to use different design elements to express the words in different ways. So let's look at the first mood board from this student. You see colors, textures, shapes, typefaces, and it's all just jumbled together to kind of show how it would all look together. And then the student explains each one. So they explain why they chose the colors. They believe that taupe is sort of relaxing and expresses a kind of casuality of the museum. They believe that the shape of circles kind of shows, it is reminiscent of the idea of paint and also shows sort of a fun, bubbly type personality. Here they've got more descriptions why they chose these typefaces. They believe that these are more fun, that give a connotation of youth and have a more fun attitude. The textures are more natural and organic, which would appeal to parents. So you're going to explain why you chose the images that you chose. And again, you're going to make two of these. This is just one. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how you use these mood boards, but you're not going to have to do that this week. I just want you to see what the end result of the mood board is. You're making the mood board this week. You're going to use it when you start your logo, but I think it's helpful to see how you use it before you make it.